Beowulf, in my view, is not a story about victory. It's a story about consequence. More specifically, it's about how even legends cannot escape the weight of their own choices. From the very beginning, temptation is seeded into Beowulf's journey long before he even meets Grendel's mother. First, King Hrothgar offers half his gold and kingdom to anyone who can rid him of Grendel. Then he goes even further, promising Beowulf riches, power, and even his wife. Beowulf is not just being tempted with wealth, but with identity, kingship, legacy, and remembrance. This is reinforced again when Hrothgar's wife sings her lullaby, visibly affecting Beowulf and revealing that beautiful women are a weakness for him long before the demon mother ever appears. The film makes it clear that Beowulf is already vulnerable. He is not invincible. He is a man. He is human. The pattern of temptation continues through Hrothgar himself, whose sin is often seen by first time viewers as a combination of lust and greed. If you do a quick Google search, you'll see that the king's sin is usually listed as lust. However, Hrothgar gives away gold and riches constantly. He adorns his advisors with a pendant early on before Grendel's first attack. The king does not hoard wealth. It becomes more difficult to see him as greedy and lustful with these acts of generosity. In terms of lust, in the film, we only ever see him seek his queen's affection. Yes, it comes off as unappealing and a bit desperate at times. However, he never pursues any other woman in the story, at least that we see. What Hrothgar truly desires is a son, a legacy, and continuation. His infidelity is not just about pleasure, but about desperation, fear of dying without leaving anything behind. The demon mother offers him exactly what mortal women cannot: a child. This reframes his sin not as simple lust or greed, but as fear of extinction. And just like Hrothgar, Beowulf is later tempted not by sex alone, but by the promise of immortality through legend. The demon mother is not simply a seductress. She is a predator who stays close to kings and powerful men, feeding off of greatness and sustaining herself through legacy, gold, and influence. A true kingmaker. She uses her children as instruments, pawns in a curse that allows her to maintain her power. She is not misunderstood. She is a demon in both function and intent. Beowulf himself is not a villain, but he is flawed. He desires glory above all else. Early in the film, Beowulf states that if men die, it should be for glory, not gold. His life is driven by remembrance, not morality. He tells stories of his past that sound exaggerated, yet when the time comes, he proves that his strength is real. Beowulf slays Grendel, freeing Hrothgar from his curse. When the king confronts Beowulf about why he brought only Grendel's head and not the head of the mother as well, Beowulf lies. He claims he killed her, saying his life would surely have been ended had he not. Hrothgar, seeing through the lie, says to the hero, "She's not my curse, not anymore." Then, in a moment of despair, he names Beowulf heir to the throne and takes his own life. However, the moment Beowulf lies to Hrothgar about killing the demon mother is not the first time he falsifies his legend. After the swimming match with Brecca, we see Beowulf drawn in by what I once believed to be a siren when I was a child. She lulls him in, causing him to drop his dagger into the dark sea. Beowulf claims he slew the monster, but we clearly see that that is a lie. Years later, I've come to believe that this may have simply been a mermaid, thanking the great warrior, for slaying the beasts and making the seas just that much safer for her and the rest of her kind. Unfortunately, the great hero, Beowulf, his lie to the king becomes the final lie, his last false statement. This is the turning point. From this moment forward, he is no longer just living a myth, he is maintaining one. His encounter with the demon mother proves that even if he cannot be defeated by force, he can still be defeated by desire. Seduction becomes his true weakness, not death, not battle, but temptation. Not just temptation of sex. That's far too simple for a man of this caliber. Something far more complex. The promise of more. That is the tragedy of the human condition. We always want more. That's what Beowulf desired. The promises of glory, the promises of kingship. And that is how she lulled him into a sense of security, into a sense of dominance. He felt as if, through her words and through her promises, and through fulfilling what she desired, he could achieve everything that he wanted, which was more. But instead, he got a lot more than he could chew. The dragon, Beowulf's son, represents consequence made flesh. He is not simply a monster, but a living result of Beowulf's failure. Abandoned from birth, raised by a demon, and likely poisoned against his father. The dragon grows up knowing only one story, that Beowulf chose glory over him. The demon mother may have told him how strong Beowulf was, but strength without presence becomes betrayal. The dragon is not just angry at a man, he's angry at a legend who built another family instead of loving him, a legend whom protected a kingdom instead of his own son. In the end, Beowulf is forced to kill his own creation, his own seed, looking into the eyes of his son as the weight of his choices finally return to him. This is not heroic, this is classic tragedy. By the end of the film, Beowulf asks to be remembered, not as a hero, but as a man. This is the most important line of the entire story. It reveals that he finally understands the cost of his legend. He gained glory, power, and history, but lost intimacy, honesty, and the life that he could have led had he simply slayed the demon mother. His friend continues to remind him that he is Beowulf, the hero, the slayer of monsters, even in his final moments. But Beowulf rejects this identity. He feels that he forfeited the title of hero the day he gave in to the demon mother, the day he gave in to temptation, the day he gave in to the succubus. Perhaps that is a true mark of a hero. Not perfection, but the ability to recognize one's own failure and one's own fault. Beowulf's tragedy is not that he was weak, he certainly was not that, but that he was human, a man who fell to his own desires, like so many before and after him. The demon mother is the villain. She is real. She is a predator who preys upon greatness. She is a hoarder of gold, unlike Hrothgar, her lair filled to the brim with it, likely tied to her powers and abilities. Yet, Beowulf's downfall still comes from within. It still comes from his own fault. He battles not only monsters and men, but he also battles his own desires to be more than a man, to be more than a human. In the end, the story leaves us with one simple truth. Even heroes can fall, whether by man, beast, or by their very own desires that slumber and wait within their own souls. Even heroes, even legends can fall. And that was my little synopsis analysis on Beowulf, guys. I might do another one on a couple of other characters, Hrothgar, Grendel, and the mother, just focusing on them instead of Beowulf. Maybe. This was just a little bit of a fun video. This is my first character analysis. So let me know if you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.